Alright, so this has now been very low heat for about 24 hours. And I just turned the heat off and it's still really hot. And I didn't want it to boil, I just wanted it to barely break the surface simmer. So all of the goodies should be out of those chicken bones and skin and vegetables by now. So the next step is to strain this. And so let me change the angle so that you can see what I'm about to do. Alright, you can see this has a beautiful color to it. So now I'm gonna get this strained out, and I have a large strainer over here that's fairly fine, and I have this wonderful scoop. I love this thing. So I can just take these and put it in there. Okay, had an interruption with the doggy emergency, so took care of that. But look at these pieces from the chicken and from all of those vegetables. They are just, everything's been taken out of them. So I'm going to get this all strained. I'm not going to worry about this being completely clear because you know what? This is a stock and it's hearty and it will mostly be used for things like soups and in dishes that you wouldn't be able to tell. So I don't care if it's a totally clear because it's not a broth. So let me get this all strained out and then we will get ready and we're going to can this. Okay, I want you to see all of this. I mean, it is just cooked to nothing. So now we're going to strain all of the broth that's remaining in the pan, and I'm just going to pour it through here and let it take its time, totally draining, and then I will discard all of this and get ready for the canning. Alright, so I've got my chicken stock strained and I've got my jars heated, I've got my pressure canner heated and a little bit of vinegar in there. So now we're going to start filling the jars. And look at that beautiful color. This is really rich. I added just a touch of salt to it last night, but not very much, just for flavor. But isn't that gorgeous? So let me get some more jars and we'll get this done. Alright, so this should be 1 inch headspace and I went just barely over. So I'm going to fix that. Move that one aside. This is going to be wonderful chicken stock, whether I use it in soups or in recipes. It's so rich. And this beautiful color, a lot of this comes from the onion skins. So don't throw those things away. They're just priceless. All right, so now I'm going to use some hot vinegar water and just wipe the rim. And I've checked them and made sure that the rims aren't cracked or anything like that. And I choose to keep my lids very warm water. It's not required anymore, but that's what I do. So I'm going to put this beautiful jar in the canner and finish filling them. And I can't wait to see how many I get. So I'll bring you back in just a little while. Okay, I've got my canner filled, and this is all it's going to hold. I have 12 pints, 4 half pints, and 3 of these little, I guess they're quarter pints. Plus I have another half pint that just didn't quite fit. So I'm pretty pleased with this amount. I'm going to get this in the pressure canner, cover it up, bring it up until it's venting a steady stream of steam for 10 minutes. And then once it does that, I'll put the weight on. For me, it's 15 pounds of pressure because I'm at high altitude. And once it gets up to pressure, I will process these for 20 minutes for pints. I believe it's 25 minutes for quarts. So I'll bring you back when they're all done and we'll see how they came out. Alright, so I have brought this up to pressure. I processed for 20 minutes and then I very gradually took the top off. At first I just took the weight off after it had come down to 0 pressure. Then I loosened the bolts on the All-American and waited a little while, and then I cracked the lid and waited a little while. So I just took the lid off. Now I'm going to take these jars out of the canner, and they've had probably about a total of 15 minutes to kind of equalize. And I did that so that I wouldn't have evacuation of my jars. So now I'm going to take them out. Let me put this on the tripod and then I'll show you how they look. So before I take those out of the canner, I just have to show y'all. These are some eggs that just came from my chickens. Oh my God, this one's huge. My guess is that's a double yolk. This one's giant, and this is from an Americana. So, ouch. That is a huge, it's the size of my palm. Look at this. That's huge. So I just had to share that because I'm just in amazement. It's like, really? That's pretty funny. Okay, so now let's get these jars out. And I'm very careful to keep these straight upright so that they don't tip at all. Let me lower the camera so you might see better. Okay, here's a half pint. Look at how pretty that color is. It's not 100% clear, and like I said, I don't care about that because this is stock and it's not a broth. It's not a clear liquid. This has got so much goodness from the bones and the vegetables that I don't care if there's a little bit in the jar. But that color is just amazing. And it tastes wonderful. I had one half pint that didn't fit in the canner. So that's in the refrigerator, and it really is just so good. So I did taste it. So let me get these jars all out of the canner, and then I'll come back and show you what they all look like. All right, there they are, and they're just beautiful. And the water in the canner is absolutely clear, so there was no evacuation. It really pays to just take your time and a step at a time let them sit so that there's no temperature shock and you won't have that kind of problem. And I don't know if you can see it. These things are just going crazy. But this is beautiful stock. And I just want you to think about how much you throw away every day from your vegetable scraps, from your meat scraps. And this was all basically throwaway. But instead, I have all this beautiful stock, and think about how much you would spend if you had to go buy it. And I know it's not cheap because I've done it. So just something to think about. It's a little bit of time, but look at this stuff. And now I have it on my shelf, and anytime I need it, it's right there. So I want to thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, or share it. And hit the little bell if you want to be notified when I do another video. But I just want to thank you for visiting Vickie's Country Home, and we will talk again soon.